There's another royal photo drama this morning. A second photograph of royal family members has been flagged by global picture agency Getty, saying it was digitally enhanced at source. Let's bring in royal biographer and former photographer Ian Lloyd in London. Ian, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
We talked this morning about this photograph of the late Queen. It was taken shortly before her death in 2022. We'll bring it up on the screen. It was with her grandchildren. What has Getty raised, particularly concerning about this photograph?
Well, there's quite a few little bits and pieces, tweaks to it that suggested that somebody's had a go on photo editing it. And, you know, you can tell if you research it, if you look well into it, that there are certain things wrong with the image. So it means it's not a true photograph or a real photograph. But I think, to be fair to the Duchess, who may well have been the person who did it, we don't exactly know with this one. But if you try to get 10 children all to look happy and stare at the camera, it's pretty difficult. And of course, the Queen was in the latter stages of her life and not particularly well. So they wouldn't have wanted to put her through that kind of thing. So I should imagine they did a kind of photo montage, you know, of cutting and putting people on the photograph to make the ideal shot. And obviously, if you zoom in, then you can see where bits and pieces have been added, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I know how hard it is to photograph children. It's like herding cats, as you say, Ian. But gee, the timing's not great, though, is it? On the back of the Princess Catherine photograph.
No, I mean, what people are doing now is going back to other pictures and finding problems with them. But you know, it goes back further than that. It goes back to the dawn of digital photography, which was in the late 90s, when Prince Edward got married in 1999. The official photographer, Sir Geoffrey Shakely, admitted that he'd swapped Prince William's head, because Prince William wasn't smiling on the group shot and he looked pretty miserable. He was only a sort of moody teenager at the time. So they cut and pasted his head, cut the head out and got a nice one of him smiling and stuck that on. And I mean, the thing was, in those days, it wasn't seen as anything sinister, anything difficult or awkward or whatever. That's all coming now because of AI and the fact that we're, I suppose, more used to digital photography, but and even going back to the time of Queen Victoria with film photographs, you know, she had a very large family, and they used to do montages then, cut out and stick people in to great group shots, you know. So it's kind of nothing new, but it's taking a sort of slightly sinister turn at the moment, I think.
Yeah, it has, and it's led people to raise the obvious point, you know, can we view any photograph released by the royal family as authentic? But putting that to one side, looking at the broader issue of what Catherine and William do next, I mean, how do you see this playing out? We're told, and the current advice is that Princess Catherine won't resume public duties until after Easter. That's only 2 weeks away. Where does this end? I mean, what does the royal family need to do to nip this crisis, because a crisis it is, in the bud?
Well, I think the first thing, it would be Easter itself. I mean, I would think that she might go to church. The royal family normally go to St George's Chapel, which is less than a mile away from where they live. So that's a possibility on Easter Sunday. If not, then I think they will wait until the children are back at school, which will be another week or so after that. And then they will ensure that Kate, you know, appears in public and I think they'll probably try to make sort of light of it, you know, in a conversation, probably with a member of the public. There certainly won't be a press conference or anything sort of heavy, if you like. It'll be a kind of, you know, few comments to people about what she's been through in the last few months. Obviously, she's been very, you know, quite poorly, and this can't have helped her recovery mentally, you would imagine.
Yeah.
And then photographically, I mean, Prince Louis's birthday, what is he, 6, I think, in the end of April. And they reckon there may be a photograph then, and you would imagine in which case Kate might well take it, but they'll go to extraordinary lengths to make sure, A, it's probably not changed in any way whatsoever, and B, if it does have to be changed, that they give it to some you know, professional to sort of very carefully sort of crop it or whatever they've got to do to it.